Police responded to gunfire near the iconic fountain area of the Bellagio Hotel and Casino, where 2 people were found injured and soon pronounced dead. The victims were a married couple, 44-year-old YouTuber Rodney Finley, known online as Finny the Legend, and his 43-year-old wife, Tanisha Finley. What makes the setting even more surreal is that this happened not behind closed doors, but in a bustling tourist area, one of the busiest stretches of the Las Vegas Boulevard. The man now at the center of this case is Manuel Ruiz, a 41-year-old YouTuber whose channel was named Sin City Manny. According to the arrest report and grand jury evidence, Ruiz and the 2 victims had a long-standing feud. The conflict reportedly stemmed from social media disputes and allegations about copyright strikes. Although I wasn't able to find out who was copyright striking who, investigators say that what begun as an online argument escalated into a physical confrontation that night. And despite Ruiz's claims of self-defense, that he believed one of the victims was reaching for a weapon, authorities found no firearm on the victims, which cast doubt on this being a case of self-defense. What makes this whole incident crazier, Rodney Finley, one of the victims, was streaming at the time this happened. All of it captured on camera, live. What began as a public recording quickly turned into chaos. Someone on camera grabbed for the microphone, there were shots fired, people ducking, and the phone hit the ground seconds later. The suspect, Ruiz, is said to have approached and fired multiple rounds. Investigators found this wasn't a random act of violence, but the climax of a long-lasting feud, and they described it as an isolated incident on the Strip. Shortly after the shooting on the Las Vegas Strip, Ruiz turned himself in the next morning at a police station.
Good morning, Mr. Ruiz. You were arrested for 2 counts of open murder with use of a deadly weapon.
He is charged with 2 counts of open murder with a deadly weapon. Ruiz claims that he acted in self-defense, stating that he thought one of the victims was reaching for a weapon, though no firearm was ever found on the victims. He's really got himself into a pickle, and I don't see the jury going lightly on him at all. At the current moment, the court case is still ongoing, so we don't know his sentencing yet. Imagine a YouTuber live streaming content as an alibi, only for investigators to find out the stream was faked to cover up a murder. It was a pre-recorded alibi. That is the dramatic backdrop in the case of Stephen McCulloch, known on YouTube as VoteSaxon07, who stands accused of murdering his pregnant partner, Natalie McNally, in December 2022. His videos were pretty nerdy, and he made videos on a huge variety of topics, many being about his huge love for Doctor Who.
Anyway, let's get these heads swapped, as this seems to be the ideal figure to just completely ruin. Also, while doing this modification, I've decided to put the rubbish-looking David Tennant head onto the raggedy doctor body, and I've created a whole new character.
Natalie, 32 years old, was 15 weeks pregnant when she was killed in her home. The case has stirred widespread interest, not only because of the brutal nature of the alleged crime. In court filings, prosecutors argued that the murder was not spontaneous, but planned and premeditated. They point to Stephen's internet search history in the days before the killing. Searches such as, "What's more painful, dying by drowning or being burnt alive?" and "Is it extremely painful to die by gunshot than to be stabbed in the heart?" That browsing history is being used as circumstantial evidence of intent. They also say domestic abuse was a backdrop. They say the case is wrapped in domestic violence. A key point of the case is the livestream, which Stephen claimed was ongoing during the time of the murder, but investigators say it was not live and that it was used intentionally to mislead. Many people say that this case hinges on proving the livestream deception, and many point to inconsistencies in Stephen's story, shifting alibis, and gaps in mobile phone activity during critical hours. Stephen was denied bail amid fears that he could interfere with witnesses if released, and a judge described him as a master of media manipulation. The trial date is set this year in November. It's supposed to be a 4 to 6 week trial, and as the trial approaches, everything hinges on whether the prosecution can convincingly show that Stephen's livestream was faked, that his digital footprint indicates premeditation, and that his shifting alibis undermine his defense. I am heavily invested in this. I will definitely update you guys when the trial ends. Samantha Nicole Walford was an aspiring YouTuber and mother of 5 who dreamed of fame. She made tons of videos, mostly about her pregnancy and how her life was going at the time. But behind that hope was tension in her marriage to Ernest Ernie Ibarra Jr. Ernie worked multiple jobs to support the family, while Samantha launched her YouTube channel to document her life, parenting and personal struggles. Marital conflicts escalated, arguments over Ernie's gaming, and Samantha's ambition contributed to a deteriorating dynamic.
I could not understand why somebody would want to sit at home all the time and play games, video games. My brother was a huge gamer, and I used to tell him all the time that he really needed to get out and do things, that he really needed to just not sit at home and play video games. He was big on Xbox Live, and he always just kind of blew me off, and I never really understood what the deal was about the gaming.
Some acquaintances later described Samantha as desperate for fame and speculated that her dream of becoming a YouTuber may have played a role in how the tragedy unfolded. In the early hours of February 20th, 2015, Samantha called her mother in distress, claiming intruders had broken into the home, kidnapped Ernie, and left her bound and gagged. When law enforcement arrived, they found Samantha upstairs, tied and gagged. Ernie's phone pinged in an area around Pittsburgh later that morning, but by then the trail had gone cold. Investigators examined the crime scene, noting signs of struggle, blood spatter, a lock of hair near the door, and a front door torn apart, but no obvious theft of valuables. As investigators looked deeper, it emerged that Samantha had previously accused Ernie of domestic abuse, prompting a protective order in 2014, though his side strongly denied the allegations. Authorities soon uncovered a chilling twist. Rather than a random intrusion, the kidnapping and murder appeared orchestrated. Samantha allegedly recruited 3 men, Jonathan Sanford, Jose Ponce, and Octavius Rhymes, to assist in abducting and ultimately killing Ernie. The original plan reportedly was to plant methamphetamine in Ernie's vehicle to frame him for a bust. But during the execution, the plot shifted to outright homicide. On the night, the co-conspirators are accused of beating Ernie, transporting him to a remote area in Camp County, Texas, and shooting him. Text messages between Samantha and one of her alleged co-plotters emerged, with Samantha instructing, "Kill Ernie's phone. Shut that shit down. Ditch the phone. Move." Friends of the case say Samantha never physically pulled the trigger, so the prosecution had to establish she orchestrated the crime. In September of 2017, Samantha went to trial on charges of aggravated kidnapping and murder. The prosecution's case emphasized digital and forensic evidence, cell phone pings, text message logs, and witness testimony about Samantha's contact with the co-defendants, and inconsistencies in her story. The defense disputed many of these points and stressed the lack of direct proof tying Samantha to pulling the trigger, but that did not prevent the jury from finding her guilty as an accomplice. Samantha was sentenced to 99 years in prison for murder, plus a consecutive 50 years for kidnapping. The co-defendants also received harsh sentences. Sanford and Ponce each got 50 years after pleading guilty. Rhymes was convicted at trial and got a combined 93 years. I find it unbelievably shocking how someone who makes videos like these can actually be a cold-blooded killer.
Hey guys, using this retarded light. It just looks better without it, so whatever. I'm doing a video. It's kind of dark because my kids are sleeping and I don't want to wake them up. I was just going to let everybody know that I have a Skype set up and my username is Simply Manic. If you want to get to know me and talk to me on my Skype, you're welcome to add me and I'll talk to you. I don't like video chat on there. I haven't set it up, like I haven't paid the fees and stuff to set it up to video chat, but I am on that.
Next up is Trey Eric Sessler, also known as Mr. Anime. His YouTube channel is called LensCap Productions, and it's still up to this day, with tons of videos, where he liked to call himself Mr. Anime, because as you guessed, he was very passionate about anime.
Hi, I'm Mr. Anime, and today I'm reviewing Horo Mizuko.
His videos were extremely bizarre. He tried to make comedy videos, but they always came off as creepy. His presence itself is pretty off-putting. He just seems strange. Also, I'm not hating on anyone who likes anime, I like it myself, but he just gives off the vibe that he's an incel, like he's still living at home and instead of working, he spends his free time reviewing anime. Many of them were children's ones too. He didn't just review anime, some of his videos were totally different, like his gun shooting videos. This one is titled .22 Pistol Test.
Target is the green can. Oh my god, this camera's shitty. You can't even focus on that green can. But you can kind of see it. It's way over there. It's about 40 feet, 30 feet maybe. So I'm right here. It's over there. We're gonna see if I can hit it.
So he was clearly more than capable when things took a huge turn. On March 20th, 2012, the 22-year-old YouTuber shot and killed his parents and older brother. He had planned to perpetrate a school shooting at Waller High School after murdering his family, but police were called to the family after hearing gunshots. At 1 p.m. the same day, police found the bodies of his mother, Rhonda Sessler, his father, Lawton Sessler, and his brother, Mark Sessler. Investigators say that he was heavily inspired by the Columbine High School massacre. On March 19th, the previous day, someone reported gunshots coming from the family home. However, nothing was discovered by police when they arrived. At some point before 1 p.m, Rhonda Sessler took Trey to the garage to show him a dent in her car that was made in an unrelated event. Trey instantly took this opportunity to shoot her at point-blank range with a .22 rifle 4 times. His father is believed to have been asleep at this time. He then walked back inside the home and shot his brother, who initially survived being shot, and locked himself in the bathroom, only for Sessler to break down the door and execute his wounded brother with a pistol. At this point, his father was awoken by the gunshots, and he was then shot twice. Mr. Anime then moved through the family home, armed with an AR-15 rifle, firing at his mother at least twice. He proceeded to the bathroom and shot his brother once in the head, then delivered a final shot to his father. After the shootings, he wrote things such as, "I love my mum, dad and brother," and "God forgive me because I cannot forgive myself," all over the family home. He then proceeded to wreck the family home and kill every family pet. He loaded his 2010 black Ford Mustang with a rifle and over 100 rounds of ammunition. He drove to Waller High School, from which he had graduated, and sat in the parking lot contemplating on following through with his plan. He ultimately decided not to proceed, and instead went to a friend's home, where he also slept that evening. Police received a call from family members asking for a welfare check. When police went to the home at 1 p.m, the bodies of Sessler's family were discovered, and an arrest warrant was issued for him. He was located and arrested at the friend's house in Magnolia, Texas, at 9:30 p.m. the same day. After the shooting, he told investigators that he killed his family because they were the first immediate human targets in my sight. He disputed the media's claim that the reason for the killing was to spare them the shame of his planned school shooting. He backed out of the school shooting because his plan became all too real. Who could have known this guy would become such a monster?
Oh crap, my DVD.
Next up is Elliot Rodger. His videos are exactly what you'd expect from a serial killer.
Hey, Elliot Roger here. Today it's April 7th, 2014. I'm just admiring the view from my father's house right now. And boy, what a lovely day it is. Not a cloud in the sky. I can hear some kids playing down there. When I hear those sounds, it reminds me of the days of my childhood. Those were the best times of my life. I wish I could be a kid again. Those were the happy years.
These videos were insanely depressing and creepy. Watching these, it's not a shock that he went on to become a murderer. As a teenager, he was diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorder, later redefined as a form of autism. He started treatment for this and received therapy for most of his life. He endured a whole lot of bullying during this time. Before starting his planned shooting rampage, Elliot uploaded a video to YouTube announcing his intention to punish women, as well as the men who they were attracted to because of their lack of interest for him. He complains about how awful his life is and how he struggled to talk to women. It's pretty interesting how murderers get literally no pussy.
Hi, Elliot Roger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me.
Man, watching these videos is already making me depressed. He made countless videos like these. Videos titled, "Life is so unfair because girls don't want me."
I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been, all because girls haven't been attracted to me.
Or the creepiest of them all, my reaction to seeing a young couple at the beach. He made over 20 videos like this.
Enjoying the view of the beach, and my view has been ruined by this sight right here. In front of me, sitting right there on that bench, is a young couple, I presume about my age.
On May 23rd, 2014, Elliot Roger murdered 6 people and injured 14 others using knives, semi-automatic pistols, and his car as a weapon at the University of California. Elliot first killed 2 of his roommates and their friend in the apartment they shared, ambushing and stabbing them one at a time as they arrived. Hours later, he drove to the Alpha Phi sorority house, where he intended to murder its occupants, but was unable to get into the house. Elliot instead shot at 3 women from the Delta sorority, who were walking outside, killing 2 of them while critically injuring the 3rd. He later drove by a nearby supermarket, shooting and killing a man inside. Afterwards, Elliot drove around, shooting and ramming into pedestrians with his vehicle. He exchanged gunfire with sheriff deputies twice. Shortly after, he crashed his vehicle into a parked car. As police surrounded the vehicle, they found Elliot dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.